of class 12. This video lecture is on mixed grouping. Dear students, as in last video lecture we discussed with you that capacitors can be connected in series grouping, they can be connected in parallel grouping, as well as they can be connected in mixed grouping. In series grouping, how we find the net capacitance? In parallel grouping, how we find the net capacitance? What are the basics of series grouping and what are the basics of parallel grouping? That we discussed in last video lecture. Today we discuss how we do the questions based on mixed grouping. You know, mixed grouping is such type of grouping in which few capacitors remains present connected in series and few capacitors remains connected in parallel. As see this figure, we have a circuit in which capacitors are connected. Like this. These are 2 points A and D. These capacitors are having capacity value 2 microfarad, 2 microfarad, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. We want to know what is the net capacity with respect to point AB. You can see this figure and you can tell that in this circuit these capacitors are connected in a special way with each other. It is called subgroup because in this group capacitors present are connected with each other in a special manner. So when we find the net capacity of the mixed grouping, first we see how many subgroups are there. In this circuit we have only one subgroup. Then we see how many entrance and exit points are there in the subgroup. Entrance point means point through which charge can enter, and exit point means point through which charge can come out. If we see this subgroup, from here if charge will enter, from here charge will come out, or from here when charge will enter, from here it will come out. So there is one entrance point as well as one exit point. So what we do, we hold both the points virtually in our hands and stretch in a opposite direction. When we do so, this figure converts as in this situation. Now it's very easy to guess that in a subgroup which are in series and which are in parallel. Dear students, this is called stretching method, and this stretching method is used only when in a subgroup there is one entrance point and one exit point. If number of entrance point or number of exit point are more than one, then we cannot apply this stretching method. Then how we do? We discuss in later phase. Now in this subgroup, with respect to entrance and exit point, these two are in series, net will be 1. 1 and 1 will be parallel, net will be 2. So we can reduce this figure as this portion shift this side, this portion shift that side. This is 2. Now this point A will reach here. Then this portion. Then net capacity of this is 2. Then this capacitor, as it is shifted towards right side. Now very easily we can say that with respect to point AB, all 5 are in parallel. So net capacity of the combination with respect to point AB will be 1 upon C is equal to 1 upon 2 plus 1 upon 2 plus 1 upon 2 5 times, that is 2 by 5 microfarad. This is the first method with the help of which we can find the net capacity of the mixed grouping. There are so many methods other than this also. We are discussing one by one. Sometimes what happens when we get the mixed grouping circuit, in that grouping, some capacitors though remains present, but they never works in the circuit. Such type of capacitors are called fake capacitors. How we guess that which capacitors are fake capacitors? We are going to discuss here. The fake capacitors are those capacitors which are present in the circuit but not working. So before finding the net capacity of the mixed group, we remove those fake capacitors. How we guess? See this figure. Suppose a circuit is given to you like this. Let all capacitors are of 2 farad. These can possess any value, that depends upon the question. We have to find the net capacity between points A and B. This is point C, this is point B. So what we do to guess which capacitors are fake capacitors? Just think with respect to AB, a cell is connected. Now as soon as cell will be connected with respect to AB, because they are asking that find the net capacity with respect to AB, whatsoever charge will move from here, the charge after reaching here can go in this direction, can go in this direction, but cannot go in this direction. Why? Because here road is blocked. After reaching here, there is no option for charge to move. So such type of capacitors in which one plate is connected with the free end is known as fake capacitor. So here this capacitor is working as a fake capacitor. Similarly, when charge will reach here, reaches here, reaches here, reaches here. After reaching here, it can go in this direction, it can go in this direction. It cannot go in this direction because again one plate of the capacitor is connected to free end. So it is also working as a fake capacitor. So when we find the net capacity of the combination, we have to remove these fake capacitors from the figure because they are present but they are not working. Now after removing this fake capacitor, again we will go to that discussion which we have just done. It is a subgroup having one entry and one exit. It is a subgroup having one entry and one exit. So with respect to these two, they are in parallel. If we stretch, they become straight. They are in parallel. Sorry, they are in series. That one and this one are in parallel. So net capacity net of this subgroup comes as C1. Similarly, with respect to these ends, these two are in series. That capacity and this one are in parallel. So net capacity of this combination C2. So now my figure reduces to point A will be as it is, that capacitor will be as it is, point C will be as it is. Now this capacitor is present after point C, then this will have a single capacity value C1, connect here, then this is point D, this is from point C, these are two capacitors, half capacitors 2 farad each, reaches here. This is a single capacitor of capacity C2. This is point D. Then again we have a 2 farad capacity. This is point D. Now, this is also a subgroup having one entry, one exit. If we hold these two ends and stretch, these two are series. These three are in parallel, those are in, sorry, these two are in series, these three are in series. The net capacity of these two capacitors and net capacity of these three capacitors are in parallel. So we get one capacity value, let it is C dash. Now again figure reduces to, this will be point A, it is a capacitor of capacity 2, net capacity of this combination comes as C dash, and this is the capacity of capacitor 2. Now with respect to point AB, all three are in series, so we can easily find the net capacity of the combination. This is the second method to find the net capacity of the misgrouping. Third is finite ladder type circuit. Finite ladder type circuit. Ladder means CD. Such type of circuits in which capacitors are connected just like they are showing the branches of a ladder. It doesn't matter how many sections it consists of. Maybe one section, maybe two sections, maybe three sections, maybe four sections. This is called finite ladder type of circuit. In this, if we are asking find the net capacity with respect to point AB, so as soon as we connect here cell, these two capacitors will work as a fake capacitor, because after reaching here charge will not get path to move. So we remove them. After removing them, figure will be like this. Now first we see this side subgroup. If charge enter from here, comes out from here. So with respect to these two ends, these three are in series. That one and this one are in parallel. So this group will have one capacity, let's C dash. Remove this group. Figure reduces to. Instead of this, we write a single capacitor of capacity C dash. Again, this is a subgroup having one entry, one exit. With respect to these two, these three are in series. That and this one are in parallel. So net capacity of this subgroup becomes C double dash. Remove this group also. Now you will have point A, one capacitor. Net capacity of this combination is C double dash, and this capacitor in point B. Now with respect to these two, if we stretch, all are in series. Very easily we can find the net capacity of the combination. But if we say in this figure, find the net capacity with respect to AC or with respect to AD, or with respect to BC or with respect to BD, it is not easy to solve, because these subgroups will have, if one entry, there will be more than one exit of, or if more than one entry, one exit. So stretching method we cannot adopt. For it, what we do, we just discuss later on. So make it clear, in subgroup, stretching method will be used only when we have one entry and one exit point. Now if this ladder is not finite, it is infinite, then there is a special way to handle the question that I am going to tell you. This is important also. Suppose we have a point, we have a ladder of infinite dimension 2 to up to infinity, like this. Not one section, two section, three section, up to infinite section. Then what we do? We assume that except these two, or except this one, this last group in which we are connecting a cell, rest are removed. And after removing all except these three, the capacitor which is going to replace these all such capacitor, net capacity of that capacitor is X. Except that group in which with respect to which 2 points net capacity is to be calculated. We remove all the parts and let me assume that the capacitor which is replacing R is having capacity X. So we have connected a capacitor of capacity X here. Now these two are in parallel, so net will be 1 plus X. Now between points A and B, it's very easy to say that they are in parallel. So net capacity between reciprocal of net capacity between AB will be equal to 1 upon 2 plus 1 upon 1 plus X plus 1 upon 2. Now this will be also assumed as X. Why? Because if connection of infinite capacitor is having a single capacity value X, then introduction of these three will not affect this value. That is why the net capacity of combination is also taken as X. Now we solve it. When we solve it, we get a quadratic equation in X. That quadratic equation will have two roots. One will be positive and one will be negative. The positive root of that value X will be the result. If x1 comes as positive, result will be x1. If x2 comes as positive, result will be x2. Why we are saying like this? Because capacity of any capacitor cannot possess negative value. This is the method to find the capacity of infinite ladder. This is important for your competitive exam also. Then comes finally Wheatstone bridge. Dear students, Wheatstone bridge is a special type of circuit designed by Wheatstone. In this 5 resistors or 5 capacitors remains connected with each other in such a manner that 4 represents sides of 4 side figure and 1 represents diagonal. It's very easy to find net capacity of this Wheatstone bridge with respect to point CD. Because if we have to find the net capacity with respect to point CD, one entry, one exit, stretch them opposite each other, these two will become series, these two will become series, and rest 3 will be in parallel. So very easy to find the net capacity. But if they are saying find the net capacity of this circuit with respect to point A and B, then if we see with respect to point AB, it is a subgroup having 1 entry, 2 exit. We cannot adopt stretching method. If we see this subgroup having 2 entry, 1 exit, we cannot adopt stretching method. And if we think about whole figure, we try to stretch them, this capacitor will create hindrance to become these two flat. So it's not easy to say that which capacitors are in series and which are in parallel. So Wheatstone said that if such type of circuit we are getting that out of 5, 4 represent sides and 1 represent diagonal, then if the values of the capacities present across sides are taken in such a manner that towards left side of the diagonal arm ratio and towards right side of the diagonal arm ratio are equal. डायगोनल के लेफ्ट साइड में और राइट साइड में आइदर साइड में आर्म रेशियो अगर बराबर निकलता है, ब्रिज इज सेड टू बी बैलेंस्ड. When bridge becomes balanced, potential of point C and potential of point D becomes equal as soon as it is connected with cell. If this condition gets fulfilled, these 2 points acquire same potential. As a result, between them no charge moves, because for the flow of charge potential difference is must. So when no charge will move, this capacitor will work as fake capacitor. So we will remove it before finding the net capacity. But this 4 diagonal branch capacitor will be removed only when this condition is going to fulfill. So if C1 by C2 is equal to C3 by C4, means across either side of diagonal arm ratio are equal, potential of C and potential of D becomes equal, bridge is said to be balanced, so the capacitor which is present in the diagonal arm works as fake capacitor. So before finding the net capacity, we remove it, and as we remove, now in this one entry, one exit, we stretch them. These 2 will be in series, these 2 will be in series, and rest 2 will be in the parallel. Very easily we will be able to find the net capacity. But if this condition is not going to fulfill, this will be not equal to VC, will be not equal to VD, bridge will be not balanced, hence we will not able to remove the 5th branch. So we cannot guess which one is in series, which one is in parallel. Then to do it, we use Kirchhoff's law, which will be my next topic of discussion in next video lecture. When bridge is balanced, no need to apply Kirchhoff's law. Kirchhoff's law is applicable only when we are not able to guess how many resistors or capacitors are in series and how many resistors and capacitors are in parallel. Now dear students, sometimes though 5 capacitors or 5 resistors remains present, but they never connected as shown in the figure. For example, suppose we have this type of 5 circuit having 5 capacitors. That it is 2, it is 4, it is 1, it is 2, it is 5. They are saying find net capacity with respect to AB. You cannot guess which one is series, which one is in parallel. And as 5 capacitors are present here, and you know that Wheatstone bridge consists of 5 capacitors or 5 resistors, so we do some changes. See here, if we hold this thumb here and shift like this, so this figure will go here, this capacitor will be here, this capacitor will be here, and this point A will go this side. It was 2, it was 4. Remove it because I have shifted this portion that side. Similarly, this point be shifted here like this. Now, can you say it is a Wheatstone bridge? Yes. Out of 5 capacitors, 4 represent sides, 1 represent diagonal. This bridge is balanced or not? Left side arm ratio 2 by 4 means 1 by 2. Right side arm ratio is also 1 by 2. Bridge is balanced. If bridge is balanced, remove diagonal branch. Now what is the result? This 2 and this 1 are in series. This 4 and this 2 are in series. Rest 2 are in parallel. Very easily we can find the net capacity. Now there is one more form of Wheatstone bridge. Like this. Point A, like this. saying find net capacity with respect to point AB. By saying this, we cannot say that they are forming Wheatstone bridge, but there will be little bit change in the figure. See here, assume this point as A and this point B here. Assume this point D at the bottom and this point C at the top. Now between A and D, a capacitor of 4 farad is connected. Between point A and C, a capacitor of 4 farad is connected. Between C and D, a capacitor of 4 farad is connected. Between D and B, a capacitor of 4 farad is connected. Between C and D, a capacitor of 4 farad is connected. Now you can say that this is Wheatstone bridge, and as across either side of diagonal arm ratio are equal, it means bridge is balanced. So we can remove this diagonal branch and easily we can say that they are in series, and rest two are in parallel. So these are the different forms of Wheatstone bridge resistance, and today we discuss only those type of Wheatstone bridge in which balancing condition means arm ratio across either side of the diagonal is fulfilled. But if suppose, as I told you, that arm ratio are not equal, we are not able to remove that diagonal branch, then how we find the net capacity? Or such type of misgrouping circuits in which we are not in position to guess which one is in series and which one is parallel. In subgroup there are more than one entry point or more than one exit point, we can't apply the stretching method. Then how we find the net capacity of those circuits which are the complex type? For it we always apply Kirchhoff's law, and that Kirchhoff's law we will discuss in our next video lecture. Thank you. Please do share and subscribe my channel, and if you like this lecture, please comment also. Thank you.